Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you here in the sanctuary and those who have joined us online. We ask that you turn off your cell phones during the worship service, with one important exception. Please feel free to use your phones to access our T-coil system. My name is Irene Kay. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm this morning's worship service leader. In addition to the AV technicians, ushers, and worship assistants who make the service run smoothly, today we have Norm Ayerst and Marianne Terpstra as music ministers, along with music director Rachel Derry. We welcome you here today, whatever the circumstances of your life, in the many ways we identify as people, and in the diversity of how we love and live. In this house of faith, we are all included as we search for truth, build community, and strive to make the world a better place for all. This morning's land acknowledgement is going to be taken from this book, which is available in our church library. It's called 21 Things You May Not Know About the Indian Act. In 1742, a French Jesuit missionary and ethnologist wrote about his observations of the role of women. Nothing is more real, however, than the women's superiority. It is they who really maintain the tribe. In them resides all the real authority. The lands, the fields, and all their harvest belongs to them. They are the soul of the councils, the arbiter of peace and war. They arrange the marriages. The children are under their authority, and the order of succession is founded in their blood. Fast forward through the Indian Act, colonialism, the reserve system. Peggy J. Blair writes, Aboriginal women are more likely to face domestic abuse than other women in Canada. While one in 10 women in Canada is abused by her partner, almost 1 in 3 Aboriginal women is abused. If an Aboriginal woman leaves the reserve to escape domestic abuse, she can lose her home. Many Aboriginal women who wish to live on reserve cannot do so because of a lack of housing. At present, Indian women do not have the same human rights or protection of their rights as other Canadian women. Please settle in your seats for this morning's prelude.
You were there when I needed you before, and now tonight I feel that way again. And you lent an ear and an understanding heart, and now tonight I really need a friend. I don't want to, but I need to use you as a crying post. So won't you lend your shoulder to me, please? True love seldom grows from friendship, but if I had my choice, you know I'd fall in love with you. When I thought I was alone, and now tonight I feel that way again. And you made me smile when I thought a smile would break my face tonight. I really need a friend. I don't want to, but I need to use you as a crying post. So won't you lend your shoulder to me, please? True love seldom grows from friendship, but if I had my choice, you know I'd fall in love with you. All right, thank you.
Each time we gather, we light a chalice. It reminds us that we are entering sacred space and time together. It reminds us of our connection to Unitarian Universalists all around the world. Please join me in our new chalice lighting words. To nurture each other, serve the community, and inspire action to heal the world.
They might be new chalice lighting words, but they have been around for quite some time as our mission. Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Danny Weber, the minister here at UU Hamilton. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm really excited to welcome you into our sanctuary this morning. If you are new or nearly new here to our congregation, thank you so much for being with us. And today we have a special coffee hour event for you. Please grab a beverage after the service and head down the hallway to room number 9 for an opportunity to join in small discussion and learn about our community. Nancy and Catherine from the meet and greet team will be there and excited to meet you. Today, we kick off our monthly theme of awakening curiosity. And of course, there are multiple different types of curiosity that we can awaken. An exploratory curiosity, a curiosity for deeper knowledge, curiosity that makes us thrill seekers, or maybe busybodies. Curiosity that can lead to play or distraction, fascination, and empathy. In preparing for our month of awakening curiosity, one of my favorite metaphors was shared by Reverend Victoria Safford, who writes, "To see, simply to look and to see, is an ethical act, an intentional choice. To see with open eyes is a spiritual practice and thus a risk. For it can open you to ways of knowing the world and loving it that will lead to inevitable consequences. The awakened and curious eye is a conscious eye, a willful eye, a brave because to see things as they are, each in its own truth, will make you very vulnerable." Reverend Safford speaks of the consequences that can happen from our curiosities, and so this month we will explore ways in which our curiosities can lead us to play and explore, but also when it calls us to act with courage. When curiosity doesn't ask us to wonder or entertain, but rather enlists us in the work of transforming the world. And so, as we settle into worship together, our chalice, this flame, is for the questions that follow us home. The ones that refuse to settle, that sit beside us at night. Not every riddle is meant to be solved. Let this light keep open a space where not knowing is allowed to breathe. Come, let us worship together. and we will begin with hymn number 196, Singer of Life.
Just before we start this hymn, I wanted to remind people to sign up for our Saturday workshop. Be curious about your voice and how your nervous system affects your voice and how aging affects our voice. The lovely Melissa Dutch, who has shared music with us, will be leading the workshops. There's two, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. You have to register though, so we know we can feed you at lunch. You will see there's a poster in the foyer with a scan, so you can scan, you put your camera there and it'll take you to the website. Or go to Eventbrite and look up Melissa Dutch. So I wanted to say a couple of words about this first hymn, and I thank you for allowing me the time, because I got curious. I always get curious when people say in hymnals, Native American melody. Well, what does that mean? Does it kind of like, that's very not specific. And it's kind of disrespectful, I think. But we have done that as a culture for a long, long time. So I did a little digging. And I want you to know that this melody was attributed to Joseph Renville, who was a fur trader of mixed Dakota and French heritage. This melody called Lac qui parle is actually Lake That Speaks, so it's a place in Minnesota, so that is why it is named that in our hymnal. So it was identified as a tune that kind of bridged between the Indigenous community, the Dakotas, and the Protestant missionaries, which I find a very interesting way of putting it. But that's how this particular biography was written. So I would encourage, if you are more curious, look up, it's also called the Dakota Hymn, or Lac qui parle, which is in the hymnal. You'll see it's under, at the very end of the hymn. And the poem, I still have to look up. I have to do more work on that. So being curious, especially with our Indigenous peoples, is a really positive, reconciling action. Anyway, enjoy it. We're going to do Singer of Life. You may stand and enjoy. Stand as you will. I'm going to play through it, and Marianne will help sing through it. Here's the melody. Here we go.
Jenny is away this weekend, and so she shared some information with me, and I found the story. This time I brought pictures along. I don't know if you remember the last time I was in charge of the story, there were no pictures, and the congregation went, boo. So I listen. But first I wanted to say thank you to everyone who came to our spring fling at the Third Space Cafe on Friday night. There was a small crowd, but everybody had a lot of fun. Here, do you want to come and adjust this? Pull it closer towards me. Is that sounding better? Okay. Our next, this upcoming Friday, our Third Space Cafe is going to be a trivia event. So if anybody is interested, it's being hosted by Jessie, our support services manager, and Brenda, who supports Jenny in our children, youth, and religious program. You can come with a team, or you can join one when you get here, and I hope that you will come and play some trivia with us. One other special note that I wanted to share, being the beginning of May, it's that time in the season when camps start to open up. And did you know that there's a Unitarian Universalist camp and retreat center less than 2 hours from where we are right now? It's called Unicamp, and if you're interested in knowing more about it, there will be some flyers and information in the foyer. So families and children and adults who love the outdoors would enjoy Unicamp very much. And now for our story. It's called Say Something, and it was written and illustrated by Peter H. Reynolds. The world needs your voice. Mine? Yes, yours. Go ahead. It doesn't need to be perfect as long as it comes from your heart. You don't have to be loud. Powerful words can be a whisper. You can say something in so many ways, with words, with action, with creativity. If you see someone lonely, say something by just being there for them. If you see an empty canvas, say something with your brush. If you see an empty lot, say something by planting a seed and watching it bloom. If you see someone being hurt, say something by being brave. Hey, stop. If you see something beautiful, say something with a poem. Painted meadows splashed with rainbows. If you have a brilliant idea, say something with confidence. Eureka. If you want to show the world who you are, say something with style. Ta-da! If you are angry, say something to help people understand. You made me feel invisible. That really hurt. I'm really sorry. If you see an injustice, say something peaceful. Inspire others to do the same. There are lots of signs here. No more hurting people. Peace. Shalom. Make more light. Peace in multiple different languages. And there's actually one held up by two people together that has peace written out in sign language. P-E-A-C-E. Sometimes you'll say something and no one will be listening, but keep saying what is in your heart and you will find someone who listens. Keep saying it, and you may be surprised to find the whole world listening. If you are grateful for being alive, quietly say something to the stars, to the universe. Some people find it easier to say something than others, but everyone has something to say. I hope, I believe, I wish, together we can, I imagine, I'm ready to change the world. So when you're ready, say something. Your voice can heal and transform. Your voice can change the world. Are you ready to say something? And for all of those who couldn't hear it, Felix started babbling over in the corner. Juliana is with our children this morning, and they're going to head over to the fellowship hall for their programming now. So let us sing the children out.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
In these moments of contemplation, I invite you to relax. Close your eyes if you like, and breathe deeply. Following our reading, there will be a few moments of silence, followed by music. During the music, you are welcome to come up and light a candle of joy or sorrow or gratitude. This morning in our story was the line, "If you are grateful for being alive, quietly say something to the stars, to the universe." And so this is a prayer to the stars and the universe from Reverend Michelle Collins. Please settle into your breath and close your eyes. Source of love and deep questioning, you move in the restless parts of us that ask, what else is true? Thank you for the spark that keeps us from going numb, for the inner tilt of the head and the heart that reminds us to look again. Awaken in us a curiosity that is kind, not cruel, that seeks understanding rather than judgment, that can say, I don't know, without shame. When habit narrows our vision, help us widen it. When cynicism hardens our heart, open it with wonder. Let our days be filled with small discoveries, and our lives be shaped by learning that never ends. Amen. Blessed be. We take time for this ritual to help us remember that we are not alone in this life or in the pain we hold, nor the joy that we carry. Lighting a candle of joy, sorrow, and gratitude for something that has happened in your life is a quiet moment that we take within the week when we recognize that we are all part of the same interdependent web. Because sometimes it really is important to know that we are together, part of a web of community that is trying to strengthen its caring commitments to one another. And so, in honor of the joys, sorrows, and gratitudes that are silent within our hearts today, we also have some to share aloud. A joy from Mary Ellen and the Climate Action Team. Thank you to those from our congregation who organized and participated in the Water is Life event that was held yesterday at our church. Thank you also to Joanne and others who prepared the garden for a tour following the indoor event. Additionally, a joy from the Zoomers and Boomers who are excited to share that Rabbi David Mivisar is speaking with us on Wednesday at 1:30, Wednesday, May 6th. All congregants are welcome and details are in the ACE. We celebrate the joys among us and rejoice in the happiness that flows through our community. Today, I also wish to offer gratitude to the board members, both past and present. This week on Tuesday, it was the first gathering of our new board of directors after our annual meeting, and just a huge amount of appreciation to all of the people who serve and who have served in the past. Thank you for helping hold this community. Scarlett also has gratitude to share. She says, I wish to express my deep gratitude to my fellow congregants, particularly those who signed my endorsement nomination papers. Scarlett is officially a Hamilton mayoral candidate, and the first trans candidate at that. Thank you so much. She says thank you from the bottom of her heart, and let's change Hamilton. Finally, a public sorrow today, which is that May 5th is Red Dress Day, or the National Day of Awareness and Remembrance for the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and 2S LGBTQI+ people. In 2009, Jamie Black Morissette, a Red River Métis artist and activist, began the Red Dress Project. In her own words, the Red Dress Project is an installation art project to bring attention to the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Jamie says, I've collected hundreds of dresses and we display them in empty places so that people are confronted both with the violence that women are experiencing, but also the presence and power of Indigenous women. You will see red dresses throughout the building today, a visible reminder of the Indigenous individuals who never made it home. In 2025, 147 women and girls were violently killed in Canada, and 29% of those were Indigenous individuals. That's 43 people. Though Indigenous women represent approximately 5% of the total Canadian female population. Let us take a moment of silence to acknowledge and honor the individuals who have not been able to make it home. May we hold their sorrow in our hearts.
In the free faith tradition, we are the support and resources of this congregation. Our gifts and donations sustain the many ministries of this church, a community we have chosen to join and support. We'll now receive our offering while we listen to our music minister. Your gifts in support of our ministries to one another and to the community are appreciated. Thank you.
The study of curiosity is actually a new field within a very old field of thought and research. Epistemology, or the branch of philosophy that examines the nature, origins, and limits of knowledge, goes back to the ancient eras of Socrates and Plato. Yet, it's hard to know when the idea of curiosity actually came into this ancient stream of thought. In 2020, professors Perry Zern and Arjun Shankar published an anthology entitled Curiosity Studies, A New Ecology of Knowledge, in which they bring together 14 scholars within disparate expertise to establish curiosity. Drawing from anthropology, biomedicine, ecology, education, ethics, gender studies, history, literature, and many other fields, to begin this transdisciplinary conversation about what curiosity is and what resources it holds for human and ecological flourishing. In the introduction, the editors write, "We expressly resist academic silos and intellectual monocultures. We envision curiosity studies as an unbounded inquiry built on 3 simple principles. 1, curiosity is multiple. Its makers shift across history, geography, species, social identities, institutions, contexts, and circumstances. Therefore, it requires immensely flexible analytical attention. Number 2, curiosity is praxeological." Why can I say that word? Far from something that is simply felt, curiosity is something that is done, expressed in behavior, habits, architectures, and movements across physical, conceptual, and social space. And finally, number 3, curiosity is political. Its manifestations within sociocultural worlds are marked by inherited hierarchies of value among scientific methodologies, people, groups, and ideologies. And yet, precisely because of its multiple praxeological and political, curiosity bears a keen subversive potential. It has the capacity to upend what we know, how we learn, how we relate, and what we can change. Curiosity has the capacity to become radical, to get at the root of things. We therefore propose curiosity studies not only as a field of scholarship, but as a way of reimagining the world, both within the classroom and far beyond it. I find this idea absolutely fascinating. I love philosophy, and I was very close to applying for a minor in philosophy when I was in my undergraduate studies. When all was said and done, I had 7 credits in philosophy and 8 in religious studies. Unfortunately, I don't remember half of what I read back then, but I do remember the chaos of trying to comb through a philosopher's thoughts, or a religious person's, written hundreds and sometimes thousands of years ago, trying to understand how my own thoughts interacted and overlapped and differed from theirs, and then expressing them myself, usually through text. I had a fascination with questions so large that you couldn't decide if there was no answer or an infinite amount of answers. And yet, as I read this introduction on the study of curiosity, it wasn't the multiplicity or the way in which we practice our curiosity that pulled me in. It was the idea that curiosity is political. Interested in diving a bit further to understand how curiosity is political, I went searching and found a podcast interview by the same title. An interview with Dr. Perry Zern that opens with the line, I am interested not in what curiosity is, but in how curiosity moves, and then how that moves us. The host of the podcast goes on with an introduction that states Perry Zern is deep into the studies of curiosity, the hierarchy of questions that are asked, and who gets to ask those questions, and how all of this is related to power, and when curiosity can create social change. However, he also talked about how curiosity can get stuck, sedimented, or trained out through our processes. I've experienced this before, and I bet you have too, at times when we know that we are looking for something new and exciting or different, but we can't seem to see beyond our own frameworks to be able to see that possibility. I think about Western civilization and how we are likely stuck in our own current worldview and lack of curiosity. Not being able to see our way past the current structures of neoliberal, globalized market that shelters the wealthy and seeks for infinite expansion. Dr. Zern describes 3 different movers, or curious characters. The first is the busybody. They are interested in lots of different things. They want to know just about anything and everything. The second is the hunter. And the hunter is curious about specific things, usually about their own trajectory. Finally, the third curious character that Zern identifies is the dancer, which isn't just interested in one thing or in everything, but the dancer wants to create or use curiosity to take new risks or put things together in ways that no one has ever thought about before. A radical kind of curiosity. And when you listen to those descriptions, do these characters become real in your mind? Because images started popping into my head as I was listening to this podcast. In the first book of the Hogwarts series, there's this really fantastic description of Harry's Aunt Petunia. It's probably within the first 5 pages of the book. Petunia Dursley is described as a thin, blonde woman with nearly twice the usual amount of neck, which she uses to stretch over the fence and spy on her neighbors. This definition popped into my head while I was thinking about busybodies. And yet, if it weren't for busybodies, we likely wouldn't notice when people we care about are sick or haven't shown up in a while. Busybodies create and build relationships. They also have a tendency to see patterns across multiple different situations or interactions. Another image that popped into my mind was a bumblebee flitting from one flower to the next, never staying anywhere too long. In the chapter that he wrote in the anthology, Zern calls this type of curiosity frivolous, and sometimes it acts out of boredom. Hunters move through curiosity by focusing deeply into one area or one arena. This is the curiosity of scientists or researchers. This is the type of curiosity that is often driven by mastery, and it is the kind of curiosity that has driven much of the Western scientific advancements, as well, I would say, as much of the colonialism, extraction, and exploitation that has come along with those scientific advancements. It seems to me that individuals who have had a hunter style of curiosity often hold power. It's the curiosity that can ask, what can I get from this? Again, in his book, Zern speaks of this as the serious curiosity, the type of curiosity that is controlled and disciplined. There has been this really long philosophical debate about these 2 types of curiosity and how they fit in and beside one another. The polarity around how do we know something? Is it because of our experiences, or is it because of our ability to reason? This is a debate that goes back thousands of years. The third type of curiosity is represented by a dancer. This is the type of curiosity that seeks to create in new ways, that seeks to disrupt and rebuild, to take leaps, to push boundaries, to stretch comfort zones. This type of curiosity will ask uncomfortable questions. In his book, Zern writes, this particular configuration of the curious impulse begins by fidgeting with the fissures of social mores, poking and prying in search of a new place, a new space to stand tall. It bravely barrels into the darkest recesses of suffering and pain, steels itself, and lays bare the true face of social inequality and social death. This dancer's curiosity is the one that asks the hard questions. It's the curiosity that notices injustice and says something about it. It's the curiosity that looks at systems of power, whether in our workplaces, our institutions, our communities, and it asks, is this right? Can we do better? What would it look like to rebuild this differently? And this brings us back to this morning's children's story, Say Something, by Peter Reynolds, because that story is an invitation to awaken the dancer's curiosity within each of us. Reynolds writes, "If you see injustice, say something peacefully. Inspire others to do the same." He's inviting us into the dancer's way of moving through the world. He's not asking us to have all the answers. He's not asking us to be loud or perfect. He's asking us to notice, to question, to create something new in response to what we see. But here's what I really want to emphasize. All three of these movers have a role to play. We need the busybody's attention to detail, their ability to notice when someone is lonely or hurt. We need the hunter's discipline and focus, their drive to understand how systems work and why they fail us. And we desperately need the dancer's courage to imagine and build something different. The problem is not that we have these three types of curiosity. The problem is that we have been trained by our institutions, by our histories, by our systems that benefit our silence, to move in only one way and to suppress certain kinds of curiosity altogether. Think about it. Who gets to be the hunter? Historically, it has been those already in power, the wealthy, the educated, those who have access to resources and platforms. Their curiosity about how can I extract more value has been celebrated and rewarded. Meanwhile, workers who ask questions like, why are we paid so little? Why aren't conditions safe? Why don't we have a say in decisions that affect us? Their hunter's curiosity, their focused pursuit of understanding injustice has been called troublemaking. Who gets to be the busybody? Often, it's those with power over others, the boss who monitors the employees, the state that surveils marginalized communities. But we also need busybodies who care, who notice suffering, who ask, are you okay, with genuine concern? And who gets to be the dancer? The dancer's curiosity, the radical, boundary-pushing, system-disrupting kind, has always been dangerous to those in power. Artists, activists, organizers, prophets, sometimes journalists. These are the dancers, and they've always faced resistance. So when Zern says curiosity is political, he means this: the right to be curious, the right to ask questions, the right to move through the world with wonder and investigation. These are not equally distributed. Some of us have been trained to suppress our curiosity. Some of us have been told our questions don't matter. Some of us have learned that asking too many questions is dangerous. This is why awakening curiosity is so important. It's not just an intellectual exercise. Awakening curiosity is an act of liberation. When we awaken the busybodies within us, we learn to notice and care for those around us. When we awaken the hunter, we gain the discipline to understand how power works, how systems function, where the leverage points are for change. And when we awaken the dancer, we find the courage to imagine and build something radically different. The second to last chapter in their anthology, Zern submits an essay entitled Curiosity and Political Resistance. In it, he writes, "Political resistance against civilization, discipline, and sovereignty. Resistant curiosity is irreverent and courageous, experimental and tactical, responsive and integral. It comes from the bottom, from the marginalized, and from the constitutively excluded, or those who are excluded by the Constitution. It is disruptive. It is insubordinate. This resistant curiosity is the one that has society witnessing and honoring murdered and missing Indigenous women, girls, and 2S LGBTQ people. It was the power of resistant curiosity that led Jamie Black Morissette to create an art installation of hundreds of red dresses displayed in empty places. It is the resistant curiosity that led to workers collectively removing their labor to demand better treatment and pay. This is the kind of curiosity behind the film Thinking Beyond the Market by Dr. Brian Doucette, professor at University Waterloo. This is a film that we're actually going to be screening on May 17th in the sanctuary. A film about genuinely affordable housing. Our affordable housing team is working with this group. This is the type of curiosity that our Dismantling Barriers Justice team is inviting people to engage in during our Cafe 8 event this afternoon. This is the curiosity that says something when the world tells you to be quiet. This is the curiosity of those who have been left out, pushed down, told their questions don't matter, and yet they ask anyway. They notice anyway. They imagine and build anyway. And this is the kind of curiosity that we need. Not the curiosity of those who already have the power, but the curiosity of those who are building power from the ground up. The curiosity of workers asking for dignity. The curiosity of communities asking for justice. The curiosity of artists and organizers and prophets asking, what if we did this differently? And so I leave you with this question. Are you ready to say something? We'll close out our service with hymn number 1052, The Oneness of Everything.
On the grass of hands, or light to meet the
thank you everyone for trying out those new to us hymns this week. I think you did a great job. So I invite you to remember that curiosity is political. The right to ask questions, to wonder, to investigate, these are not neutral gifts. They are tools of liberation. Use them. And know that you do not do this alone. Together, we can imagine a world of greater justice, deeper compassion, and radical love. Your voice can inspire, your voice can heal, your voice can transform. So go, say something, ask something, create something. The world is waiting for your curiosity.
Hello. Well, I'm here. If you read the order of service, it says Norman Fool's Gold. But because I made one-digit error in my phone number, do you know the butterfly effect? Well, I'm here by myself, and that's very rare. I very rarely play by myself. Yeah, all right. Okay. I'm not looking for... Anyway, what about the words on the wall? Is that a possibility? Did that happen? Because I need some help because I'm here by myself. Good segue. And I want to do a Carsey Blanton song. Does anyone know Carsey Blanton? She's a singer-songwriter from Virginia. And she was on the Samud flotilla that was trying to break the Gaza blockade. And a song came out, Keep This Little Flame Alive. And it was kind of like the theme song of it, if anyone ever followed any of the reels from the boats and things like that. Anyway, there's a part of the song, it may not go on the wall, but it's a call and response thing, so no pressure. So I'll sing it by myself if I have to, best I can. But it's 100 years, 100 years. 100 more, 100 more. We throw our weight against the door. And even if we don't survive, we keep the little flame alive. So, I don't know, put some pressure on Sarah. I think she knows the song, but okay. Because I'm just learning this song. I shouldn't tell you that, but I think I have it, but I just want to put the words in front of me. Look at all these songs. And I'll have to put my glasses on. I'm not going to... Okay. So maybe we could try the chorus. Not to hold you up or anything, but it goes 100 years, 100 more. We throw our weight against the door. And even if we don't survive, we keep the little flame alive. We could sing that part together. Flame alive. Oh, yeah. I'll have to leave another measure so you can do that, too. Okay. And oh yeah, Carsey Blanton writes a lot of protest songs. Just to give you a little heads up. Tuning without a tuner, but a cotton field, a silver mine, Johannesburg to Palestine, broken treaties, Jerusalem dry. We kept our little flame alive. Bobby Seale to Bobby Sands, picket in a frozen hand, prison cells, freedom rides to keep the little flame alive. 100 years, 100 more. We throw ourselves against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep the little flame alive. Hope, Guevara, Connolly, we hid them in the scullery. Secrets whispered by the wives, keep the little flame alive. Faye, Dolores, Bernadine, table grapes and gasoline. Homemade rifles, kitchen knives to keep the little flame alive. 100 years, 100 more. We throw our weight against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep the little flame alive. Faye, Dolores, Bernadine, table grapes and gasoline, homemade rifles, kitchen knives, we kept the little flame alive. Warsaw, Tulsa, Wounded Knee, they buried us, but we were seeds, singing from the grave we rise, we keep the little flame alive. 100 years, oh, 100 more. We throw our weight against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep the little flame alive. Remember when they shot Joe Hill? He spoke his last and final will. Good luck to all of you, don't cry, but keep your little flame alive. 100 years, 100 more. We throw our weight against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep our little flame alive. 100 years, 100 more. We throw our weight against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep the little flame alive. 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 All right, thank you. Thanks for.